Great job.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Our next is Mathias, who's going to be talking about using your existing observability as a SIEM. So let's give him a second to get set up. The next person I'd love to see is Viprek. If you're here, yeah, come on over. And take it away whenever you're ready. Welcome.
All right, I'm going to talk to you about how your SIEM and observability tool are pretty much the same thing. A little bit about me. I'm a solutions engineer at Victoria Metrics. I'm obsessed with observability. I like self-hosting things, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and memes. A bit about observability and a SIEM. They're both tools that gather telemetry to interrogate systems. They alert you when things aren't working. What's not working is going to be different depending on the tool. They try to help you be proactive. They try to help you correlate data from multiple sources, and they use similar abstractions like dashboards, alerting, and all those good sorts of things. And it's more than just metrics, logs, and cases or traces, because that's like saying a cake is just sugar, milk, and flour. And they try to prevent the same negative business outcomes, namely regulatory fines, brand reputation damage, and the incidents just suck for both of them. I've bet on both of them. They feel about the same. And again, you have this similar negative business outcomes. And keeping those tools separate is really bad because you end up with a bajillion different agents on all your infrastructure. You have to maintain all the documentation and knowledge for the security and the infrastructure stuff. And during incidents, you end up with like 50 different tabs open, and you spend a bunch of time context switching between the different tools. And you could also end up with different teams seeing different pictures of the environment. So these tools are basically trying to solve a lot of the same problems and have a lot of overlap in what they do. So why aren't they there yet? The migrations are really hard, and the tooling hasn't really existed yet. So a lot of infrastructure monitoring has been focused around checks until recently instead of using metrics and logs. And a lot of the time, storing logs centrally has been super expensive. So you just end up SSHing into the box and tailing. But that doesn't really work anymore because of distributed systems. So we still have some bad habits to get rid of. When you combine these tools together, you end up with fewer admin tools. You have you end up with a lower security profile because you don't have multiple agents that need higher levels of privilege to get the telemetry you need out of your environment. And you have developers blaming agents less because there's fewer things to take up resources on your system. Also, if you're in a public cloud, you're not egressing and storing as much data, which are two of the most expensive things you can do in the cloud. Some downsides to this, a lot of the pre-canned SIEM tools have a lot of turnkey integrations where you just generate a service count, put in the creds, and everything works. SaaS integrations are particularly hard about this because if you're self-hosting stuff, you can just pipe things to standard out and then or scrape log files. You also have to migrate all the knowledge. So along with things like GeoIP information, compliance information, direct links to CVEs, you also have to make sure the dashboards are arranged the same because that could be super helpful during an incident. Also, you have to make sure the security, infrastructure, and dev teams all get along, and one of them could want to keep some old plugin around that's making everyone else's life worse. The way I mitigate some of these downsides is I maintain a tool called ShiftMon. It's supposed to be an easy mode way to get monitoring and logging set up. And it doesn't only just deploy Victoria Metrics and Grafana to make everything easy. It tries to come with a bunch of pre-canned content. So you just run the Telegraph automation, and it will instrument a lot of common applications, and it makes it really easy to add in your own content as well. Just a few solutions that I have integrated right now. Most web server metrics and logs, Suricata and CrowdSec for intrusion prevention, and then Authentic for IDM and Sysmon on Windows hosts. If you want to add your own integrations, antivirus, or anything that logs locally is going to be fairly easy. But doing cloud stuff is going to be a bit harder because you usually have to set up a multi-step pipeline. I'm not the only person that thinks like this. NVIDIA's actually using Grafana Loki for threat hunting and security use cases, and Datadog and Elastic also have products for this. And here are some Grafana dashboards. This is the Sysmon dashboard, so you can see what a Windows host is doing. You could also use that information to see what it's doing on the network. And usually one nice use case for security people is going to be, they usually don't get good metrics, so they'll get the detailed NetFlow information, but it's very hard to distill that into one bandwidth spike to see. One nice thing that you can also check out is anomaly detection, so security people can actually see if their security scans are negatively impacting production in any sort of way.